I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday, the 18th day of June, getting set to cruise into a sizzling hot weekend. Let's talk about it. Take a look at some of the Skycam shots around the network. First off, coming from Hamilton. That's from Hamilton High School up in northwest Alabama. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds. The cumulus field a little more expansive in Trussville, just northeast of Birmingham. And there's the downtown Birmingham shot, looking north from the Daniel Building. Water vapor satellite image. Strong shortwave trough lifting north up into Canada. Nasty MCS developing ahead of that thing. But around here, it's the ridge with a few air mass storms around. Up on the watch warning map, there's some wind advisories up over the Dakotas and parts of Minnesota. And let me tell you what, that's a nasty looking MCS, a derecho type thing, coming right for Chicago. And I guarantee you with that thing, there's going to be a whole lot of trees and power lines blown down. That's a very significant-looking MCS there. Very dangerous. And that's one of those severe thunderstorm watches where you almost want to consider doing a PDS severe thunderstorm watch. Those have been done before. But for our friends in Rockford, Peoria, Chicago, look out. Very nasty. And down this way, the guys have put out a mesoscale discussion for much of Mississippi and parts of southwest Alabama. That's where there's a big instability axis. You can see those capes are around 3,000 to 3,500 joules. The instability values are much less over the northeastern corner of the state. Sure looks like places like Scottsboro and Anniston will not have any rain this evening, but areas south and west of Birmingham, especially along and south of US 82, could see some pretty active storms for the rest of this afternoon and this evening. Here's the day one convective outlook, a moderate risk up there in advance of that nasty derecho, a slight risk surrounding that. Day two, a couple of risks up north, and the infamous C-text right over North Alabama. That's low-end probabilities for pulse-type storms, and really almost any day in the summer you could put that there. And then on day three, a slight risk again for the nation's breadbasket. QPF chart, heaviest rain, Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago. And down here, of course, we'll have the popcorn afternoon storms, and probably not very many. Tropical weather, there's the disturbance around the Leeward Islands. The guys at NHC today give that a 10% chance of developing. There's the infrared shot, and it's clearly disorganized. But, again, it's hanging in there like a rusty fishhook. It's not going anywhere. But look at the shear analysis. That's 50 knots of shear. That'll just eat that thing alive. And on top of the shear, you got interaction coming up with Hispaniola, a very mountainous island. So it doesn't bode well for that. But the models that do identify the thing have shifted south. They've done it now coming on the south coast of Hispaniola, then up to Cuba toward the Gulf. But again, I don't think it can survive. I thought it might this morning, but it's doubtful considering that 50 knots of shear out there. Let's look at the GFS. This is at 1 o'clock tomorrow at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. Big old, nasty, blistering hot 594 ring. From Mississippi back over to Texas. We'll have a northerly flow on the periphery of that. And understand, sometimes, the ring of fire type effect where the heights drop off just a little bit. There can be some storms. But, again, the skill at trying to identify where those might fire, just non-existent. So it's hot, maybe a storm in spots. Sunday, same thing. The ridge is there, maybe slightly weaker. And then Monday, yeah, you know the deal. Let's look down below that. That looks pretty dry. And really every day through early next week, we'll go with mid-90s and only isolated afternoon storms. Inevitably, there could be one day with more storms than others, but it's going to be hard to identify those in advance. There's Tuesday. The 594 ring is back. Wednesday, goodness, expands. And again, as the soil dries, we might inch up toward the upper 90s, especially over West Alabama. In fact, we wonder if somebody might be flirting with 100. Thursday of next week, the 594 circle shrinks a little bit, and Friday, heights come down a tad a week from today, but again, that looks awfully dry. Now, again, the GFS shows a broad surface low in the Gulf a week from today. I don't think that's the current wave approaching the Leeward Islands. I think that's a separate wave. We'll go to Saturday the next day, the 26th, and then Sunday the 27th. just tries to suggest some type of tropical low coming into the western Gulf region, well to the west of here. And again, this is out there in voodoo country, but just something to watch. The water's awfully warm. Into the forecast is the 4th of July, Independence Day. Come on now. And, yeah, it looks like the 4th of July. Ridging all across the deep south and hot and muggy. Maybe some spots catching a storm. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. My next video will be Monday morning at 7. Brian Peters, the internationally beloved meteorologist of Weather Brains fame, will have the videos here tomorrow and Sunday. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.
Weather Brains.